Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
Well, here I sit not knowing where I stand. 2 years of therapy and still just half a man. Well, this town moved on without me. Now where do I fit in? Life's a jumbled puzzle, and where do I begin? But how do you paint a picture back in focus? When you're broken, and no one understands, and you scream for Jesus, and all you've got left are these pieces.
That's really good stuff. Stephen Cochran is who you're listening to right there. He's on the phone. He's going to be in Ocala performing on Saturday at the Habitat for Humanity Strawberry Festival, which is all day long. It's at the McPherson Government Complex. So you can start your day with pancakes and strawberries and end your afternoon anyway with Stephen Cochran. Stephen Cochran has made a contribution to us all, not just with his music, but he served as a Marine in Iraq, in Afghanistan. He lost the use of both of his legs, and I'm guessing that song is referencing that in the one you just heard right there. But it looks like he has regained use of his legs, and he's on the phone now. I can ask all the questions I have. Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Stephen? Oh, he's gone. There he is. He's back again. Good morning, Stephen.
I'm so sorry. I hit the wrong button.
I think you missed our whole intro. We had your song playing, and where are you, Steve? Where are you calling from?
I'm in Nashville right now, brother. It's I woke up this morning and it looks like I'm in Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no!
We got 6 inches of snow overnight, and so yeah, I woke up to a whole different outside this morning.
So you got to get to Ocala, though. Are you stuck there? Are you stuck? Do we need to bring the Strawberry Festival to you?
You know that I know we are definitely coming to Ocala so that we can get out of here. I'm done with winter. I'm over it. I'm ready to get out of here. So
nice.
We're excited, man.
You've got such a wonderful story. It wasn't wonderful the whole time, though. I mean, so I want to talk about that hard time. You lost the use of both of your legs, right?
I did. You know, I'm a real spiritual person. I always believe that God made me. He understands I have a hard head. And sometimes I have to go through things to understand what my mission is, and that's really kind of the way that I have to look at my life. It's I feel like I've lived three inside of one. I don't think you're supposed to do college, the military, and music all in one lifetime. I don't know if your liver can handle that, or but I did. Right after 9/11, I dropped out of college and I enlisted in the Marine Corps, like so many of us did, and or the military, and. I'll be honest with y'all, most people that become Marines have had the ambition to be a Marine their whole life. I didn't. My dad's a songwriter. I grew up in this business, and so music was all I ever wanted to do. But it was also driven into me that this is the only country where you can take a dream and make it your career.
Yeah.
And I took my dad's dream and made it a family business. So any country that's going to give me that opportunity, I'm going to stand up and fight for it.
Well, good for you.
So I appreciate it.
How long after you went? When did you get injured? It sounds like you were there a while before you actually got injured. Am I right?
Well, I did. I actually went to Iraq first. I went to a Special Operations Capable Unit, which is 2nd Light Armored Recon. I was a recon scout. And to be honest, I'd watched like one episode of Band of Brothers and thought, oh, I'm ready to go. Let's go. Send me to Afghanistan.
Oh, boy.
But, yeah, I came in. We went through training. I went to Iraq first, and we invaded Iraq. I did 111 missions in Iraq, and then we all came home. It's one thing we pride ourselves on is that, out of all the Special Operations Capable Units that went to Iraq, we were the only one that brought every man home.
Oh, wow.
And so, yes, sir. And I know this next part's going to be hard for you guys to believe, but we were a little cocky. I know Marines are never cocky.
All right. But how did you get injured? What happened? Were you in a vehicle or?
Yes, we turned around right after that. They had this funny little thing they told us back then that if you did 2 tours, you were done. And so most of us jumped on because we wanted to go together. We trained together, and so we all wanted to keep that unity that we had in Iraq. And so we jumped on the first trip back to Afghanistan. And at that point, we were told that we were going to be taking the Helmand province, which is anybody that's been to Afghanistan or read about it knows that that's a horrible, horrible area of Afghanistan. It's actually where the Russians lost. And so we went in there in March of 2004. And it was soon that combat was nothing new to us. We've done combat for, a year, 111 missions in Iraq, from the farthest southern border to the farthest northern border. And so combat wasn't anything new to us, but the next thing that we faced was something that we hadn't. We lost the first Marine that was killed in Afghanistan, was one of my good friends that I served with in Iraq. And, and he's from Lakeland, Florida. There, it's Corporal Ron Payne Jr.
Uh-huh.
And we just hadn't dealt with that, and it's been 10 years, and I still haven't.
Yeah, sounds like it. All right, so then shortly after that, you lost
a month.
About a month after that.
A month after.
What happened?
A month after that. Well, man, I was on my last mission. I was on my way out of Afghanistan. As I got out, my tour was over. Once I got back to the United States, I was done, and I could actually see the gates of Kandahar. We were doing convoy security to escort the rest of the military, Air Force, Army, and Navy out of the bowl and out of that Afghanistan region back into Kandahar safely.
Right.
And there was a lot of anti-tank mines in the lower part of Kandahar, and so they had been out actively. The EOD had been out actively digging them up so we could have a safe journey back in. But what they weren't doing was covering up the holes that they were digging these things out of. And so my vehicle got called to the front to do security, and we were trying to get there as fast as we could when it went nose first into one of these holes, which then catapulted me off the back of the vehicle.
Oh, my
landing.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Landing on another vehicle, and then it broke my back from L1 to L5 and shattered all my lumbar.
Oh.
So right away you had no use of your legs, right?
And I wish everything from this point on is pretty much secondhand, accounts, because I don't remember anything for about a month after that. But they told me that they had actually, when they drug me out of the wreckage, the top of my SAPI plate, which I normally took off when I got behind this certain weapon that I was on, because it would raise me up too high behind the scope. But for this mission, for some reason, I kept it on. And when they pulled me out, the SAPI plate is what stops, rounds from, it's like a bulletproof vest, but it actually stops up to 50 cal rounds.
Okay.
And when they went to pull me out, I'd hit so hard that it actually broke this plate in half.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And so when they pulled to pull me out, the top part come out, and they knew at that point that, that it was really bad. And I woke up a month later in Bethesda, Maryland, where they told me that I'd never walk again.
And now you do walk, right?
I do. Again, I think everything happens for a reason. And my mom told me that when the doctor woke me up out of the induced coma to tell me that I wouldn't walk, she said, I just kind of laughed at him and said, "No, man, I'm gonna walk again," and just went back to sleep.
So if I didn't know anything else about you, I would already be impressed because I was listening to the music, and A, I just liked what I heard. B, I saw that you performed Times Square on New Year's Eve in 2007 and 2008 or something like that, right? So
man.
that to me is awesome, and just to get that gig is pretty cool. So how long have you been a touring musician?
Well, I started, again, they told me that I'd never walk again. Vanderbilt, and this is another weird part of the story. I've lived in Nashville my whole life. I grew up here. I'm from Eastern Kentucky, but I grew up here. My dad's a songwriter. So when they told me that they had this experimental surgery that they wanted to try on me called a kyphoplasty, but there was only one doctor in the nation that the FDA had approved to do it, and he was at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, I knew that my path was to come back to music. And so a year after they told me, a year from the date that the doctor told me that I'd never walk again, I put my first single out on country radio, which was Friday Night Fireside, and it was our first Billboard Top 60.
Oh, wow.
And, Nashville looked at it as, hey, new artist, new record label, you'll never chart. We charted Friday Night Fireside, Thinking I'm Drinking, Walmart Flowers, all in the top 4.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Are you now, or were you then considered an indie artist, or what is?
I've always been an indie artist. Everything that we've done, Nashville it's a business. Sometimes I believe that they should call it the business of music and not music business, because the business comes first. And the one thing that I have realized over my 10 years now in this business is that if if they don't feel like that they can get the money they put into you back, then you're in trouble. And at that point,
That's
it
true.
was an experimental surgery that they'd done on my back. I've got 4 pounds of cement still in my back.
Oh, wow.
And so they didn't know if, hey, it takes $3 million to break an artist in this. And a lot of people don't realize that. And when I say break, I mean just for you to know their name.
Yeah.
And so, they look at it like, hey, we don't know if we're going to get this money back. Stephen, we love your story. We love your songs. We love what you're doing. But this is a business. And so I've always tried to do this independently, and I've always tried to show people that you can do it if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, well, Huey Lewis, a different genre, but still he's got a pretty cool story about being an independent artist and making more money than he did when he was on a label.
Oh, I guarantee we've made more money than I would have if I'd been on a label.
Yeah. Well, that's his story. He says they made more as an independent, both before the label and after the label, because after a while the label dropped him and he went back to doing what he used to do, and he's doing better. So,
right.
So you're coming to Ocala, and do you like strawberries?
I love strawberries. And you know what? The funny thing is I have a great connection to Ocala. I've got about 50 family members that live there.
Is that right? Wow.
My great-great aunt, who is my great-grandfather's sister, lives there, who I've never met before. And so she was my grandfather's favorite aunt. And so I get to meet her for the first time.
Oh, wow.
I get to see my Aunt Frida, who, again, is a real close aunt that I haven't seen since she lived in Eastern Kentucky, and then a whole bunch of cousins and such that I've never met. And so it's going to be awesome. It's almost like a family reunion for me.
Well, you're going to meet us, too, because we're going to be there.
And hopefully you become family, and then, that we can see each other very often.
There you go. Are you touring all the time, or is this something unusual for you to come down here?
Well, this is actually my first year back 100% in music. Since 2009, I've been the national spokesperson for Veterans Affairs. And
okay. Okay. And the song that we just could you hear on the phone the song that I used? Okay. Was that the song called Hope? I wasn't sure of the title of that.
That's called Pieces. We actually wrote that. The physical injury is only a part of really combat. Post-traumatic stress is something that we kind of shy away from even now with the media. And really, we're losing 22 veterans a day to suicide. And that's a low number. 22 veterans a day.
Crazy.
And I would love to tell you that I was not there, but I think that I've went down that path as far as you can go without being able to come back. I dealt with it myself. I did lose a record deal. In 2009, I lost the independent record label that I had. I lost a tour bus. I lost a house. I lost a fiance. I lost everything. And at that point, I was sitting at home dealing with this post-traumatic stress that I hadn't dealt with yet because I toured heavily up till then just to stay working. And when it finally hit me, I just wanted to rest. The VA was prescribing me 11 different prescriptions, and half of them were not even to do with my back injury. They were trying to just find out, can we find a cure for post-traumatic stress? And so, I locked myself in the room, and I started the process of checking out. That's what I thought. And thankfully, I have a service animal that I'll be bringing with me. Her name's Semper Fi. I may just be a little bit motivated.
What is a dog? A dog?
She's a dog.
So Stephen, as much as Nashville loves music, that's how much Ocala loves veterans. So you are definitely going to enjoy being in Ocala.
I am so excited. You guys just don't know how excited we are. We had a rehearsal last night to get ready, and I think everybody was just high-fiving and ready to get down there. And I think maybe just to get out of the snow, but they're going to see how much they love Ocala once they get down there.
Oh, and Ocala's going to love you. How many guys in your band?
7.
Okay. And are you all driving in the same Volkswagen?
We are all driving. We have a Volkswagen van.
One of the most amazing things about you is that you have been into the dregs and you were able to pull yourself up. And that truly is an inspiration for others because you have something what everybody needs to cling on, and that is hope.
Well, thank you so much. And that song, Pieces, that's exactly what it's about. The VA actually uses it now to show spouses what their husbands or wives are going through. If you watch the video, it really is. I thought it was just my story, but as I've passed it around to veterans and they've seen it, and MSNBC did a story on it, I realized it's all of our stories. This is post-traumatic stress is not just something that one or two people deals with. It's something that we're dealing with as a society now, and we have to really help our veterans.
Well, Stephen, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. I've got another one of your songs to take us out, and I apologize, I don't know the name of it, but you can hear it probably in the background. I don't know. Can you hear it?
Yeah, that's Gasoline on a Goodbye. That's one of our new singles that hopefully we'll be releasing this year.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well, be careful coming to Florida. We're looking forward to meeting you on Saturday. Everybody else, what time? What's your stage time? 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock, yes, sir.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. And what stage do we know? The main stage,
The
probably.
main stage.
The main stage.
The Stephen Cochran Project at 4 p.m.
The Stephen Cochran Project. I
That's
like that. I like that. Stephen, what an honor. Thank you for your service to our country, and thank you for agreeing to come to Ocala to help. Habitat for Humanity is such an outstanding organization. So you're coming to a town that's going to love you for your music, love you because of your service, and the organization that is sponsoring you is one of the best. So it's a win-win. Stephen Cochran, thank you.
Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all on Saturday.
We'll be there. All right.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
I'm Lillian Wu. Drivers warned to be careful with up to 14 inches of sleet and snow in parts of Tennessee. This truck driver's in Kentucky, where the governor's declared a state of emergency.
It's bad. I got in here last night. It was rain and turned into ice. I figured I would camp out here tonight. Woke up this morning about 3 o'clock, and this is what I got this morning.
Parts of Kentucky getting more than 20 inches of fresh snow. At the Boston Marathon bombing trial, defense saying survivors of the attacks should not be allowed to give such gruesome testimony.
Witnesses who lost limbs gave horrific details, not only of losing their limbs, but what it was like to still have shrapnel embedded in their bodies almost 2 years later.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers at the courthouse. Prosecutors say the survivors simply described what they saw, and the judge agreed. And Delaware prosecutors say they will not file criminal charges against NASCAR driver Kurt Busch after allegations of domestic violence by his ex-girlfriend. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You're running your business, and we at Wix.com know things can get stressful. But creating your website doesn't have to be. With Wix, you can create a professional website all by yourself. It's easy and